Hello and welcome to another episode of Trigger Warning. On tonight's show, we've got the adpocalypse. Ooh. We've got teenage euthanasia, Trump's UK visit, chlorinated chicken, and George Galloway has a suspiciously bad day. We're also going to be joined by our friend from America, Drone Tech, to discuss the adpocalypse and how it affected him. And we can also talk about anything you'd like to talk about. All the information's there. Send us an email at live@triggerwarning.tv. You can Skype in later on, live@triggerwarning.tv on Skype, or talk to us via @triggeredtv on Twitter, and of course, over in the chat. But for now, let's crack on. Roll that shit.
It's time for Trigger Warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. We've got a load to get through tonight, so we're going to crack straight on. Our first topic tonight is the adpocalypse. God, that sounds so dramatic, doesn't it? Basically, the battle to cleanse the internet, or in this case particularly YouTube, of anyone the left doesn't like, has gone from basically a storm to a tsunami. It's the adpocalypse. Sounds catchy, doesn't it? Basically, this all kicked off because popular conservative mouthpiece and comedian Steven Crowder managed to offend Vox journalist Carlos Maza. He's offended him terribly. Apparently, he's been offending him for years. But Carlos Maza decided now would be a good time to put all those clips together where he did a piss-taking voice of him or something like that, put them all together and say, what a terrible man. What a terrible man. Vox, they went on the offensive. They really went for it. They reached out to YouTube and told them it was time to take action against all these terrible, terrible, shocking people that use their platform. You know, the white supremacists, the far right, conservatives, people who make jokes they don't like, people that don't think right, just you know, everyone that isn't woke as fuck needs to be removed from the platform, wiped off YouTube completely, because YouTube should be a platform for Vox and Carlos Maza, apparently. Now, just in case you're not familiar with Steven Crowder, and I don't imagine that's the case, but he's got some, is it 3.5 million subscribers? And that's just on YouTube. He did that really cool Change My Mind thing, you know, where he'd set up on college campuses and invite people to change his mind on various, what are perceived as conservative talking points or thinking points. And they were really, really good, and he's got loads of great comedy skits. The Bob Ross one particularly being one of my favourites. But, you know, he's conservative. He's definitely conservative. He gets called alt-right a lot and far-right, which I'm not sure I understand even vaguely. But he's certainly conservative. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's also, his full shows are shown on Blaze TV. He's got like his mug club where people pay and they get a mug and they get access to all his full shows. Anyway, this starts getting really creepy because you'd think, you know, just the complaint and the fight would be enough. This is between Steven Crowder and I suppose should have been Carlos Maza, but it's also now Vox. Okay. YouTube investigated Crowder for using racist and homophobic slurs targeting Carlos Maza in multiple videos, mostly ones that were reacting to the show Maza hosts via Vox, which is Strike Through. I've got no idea. Never watched it. Don't watch anything from Vox. Don't look at Vox. It's not for me. I'm not target market. I'm probably far right. I'm not sure. Maza also claimed that Crowder's fans have been doxing him and harassing him and generally being bad just because, you know, Steven Crowder took the piss out of him. Now, Crowder's repeatedly made it clear he doesn't endorse that kind of behaviour at all, doxing, harassing, and he specifically condemns people that do that. This is a fact. This is what he does. It's not a case of, Oh, this Carlos Maz's a terrible person. Wouldn't it be terrible if he were doxxed? It's not that. That's not what he does. He specifically says that's shitty behaviour. Don't indulge in it. As any right-thinking individual would about doxing somebody else. Maybe not so much on the left. They really love doxing people. We'll maybe come back to that. Now, according to The Verge, which is another show from Vox, I thought it was just a website or something. Anyway, I'm so out of touch with the young people today. Me and millennials, I just can't get down with that shit no matter how hard I try, which isn't terribly hard. But according to The Verge, Crowder's videos routinely contain egregious violations of YouTube's policies against cyberbullying. Cyberbullying. He's being mean to somebody. He's bullying. Bullying. Carlos was probably in tears in the shower, crying after being bullied relentlessly by the conservative comedian Stephen Crowder. Crowder responded with a video where he said that the investigation was a war we will fight to the bitter end. And this is an example of a giant multinational media conglomeration attempting to squash a competitor. He also said that his use of racist and homophobic slurs was playful ribbing, just joshing. I've not seen them. I don't know how bad or good or indifferent they were. But, I'm sure someone will enlighten me shortly. I don't really care. He's a comedian. What do you want? He's comedy. He just gives opinions and makes people laugh. And, because he's got a conservative point of view, all of a sudden it's the end of the fucking world. But, again, I digress. It's all right for Frankie Boyle, who's very on the left and who I enjoy immensely, to make jokes about child rape and things of that nature. But that's okay, because he cares about the Palestinians and the environment and shit. I don't know. But not so good when this guy does it. Now, I did say against a giant multinational. You might be thinking, Vox, are they really a giant multinational? I mean, they're big, but well, yeah, they're owned by NBC. The Peacock people. Is that how they started, NBC? Peacock farmers. Anyway, the Peacock people own Vox. They've got a lot of wind in their sails. They're quite big. They're quite well known. So, yeah, a multinational conglomerate. Now, YouTube concluded after their investigation, and I'm going to read this directly, we found language that was clearly hurtful. But the videos as posted don't violate our policies. They don't. So they watched the videos concerned and said, look, they don't violate our policies. YouTube found that Crowder did not encourage his viewers to harass or dox Mazza either on YouTube or other platforms. Why are YouTube investigating what he does on other platforms? I'm not sure what possible application that could have, and that the main point of his video was to respond to opinion. But the decision, YouTube did suspend his channel's monetization, citing community guidelines, but the decision to not suspend his channel drew considerable criticism from the media. So let's get this straight. YouTube found that Crowder did not encourage his viewers to harass or dox people. The videos did not violate their policies. Didn't. It's all right. It's all right. They're taking the money off you, though. Can't monetize community guidelines. But if they don't violate your policies, how do they violate community? Surely community guidelines are tied to policies? I'm confused. But the thing is, none of this is good enough. None of this is good enough because YouTube apparently decided, I'm sure with no help from Vox and NBC, it was time to clear house. So, as we're led to believe a direct result of this one argument, which I don't believe in the slightest, it would appear that thousands of accounts have been removed overnight. Just vanished. People were concerned. People were horrified. Some people were fucking delighted. Because some people really love this shit. Yeah, take those bad and nasty people off our YouTube, not realising that this will come round to bite them in the arse before too long. In fact, our last story tonight shows just how these things can turn around to bite you in the arse. Now, YouTube did put out 2 statements on their blog. I've got them here. We've highlighted some bits and pieces. There's way too much to read, but I'll give you a couple of key points. Remember, at the end of this piece, we will be bringing Drone Tech in to give his perspective here. But the first of the statement was called our ongoing work to tackle hate. It's It's from June the 5th. Yesterday, as we record this. Over the past few years, I don't know if this is how YouTube speaks. Probably not. Over the past few years, we've been investing in the policies, resources, and products needed to live up to our responsibility and protect the YouTube community from harmful content. I think they called Paul Joseph Watson harmful, didn't they? That was Facebook. I am sorry. I think he's still on YouTube. It's Facebook. They're dealing with a different style of harmful content. Clearly, raising up authoritative content, reducing the spread of borderline content, and rewarding trusted creators. So, the raising up. We need a bit of that Josh. What's his name? Josh Grom did that song, You Raise Me Up.
Yes, sir.
We could have put a clip there, but would have been demonetized. As if we're not going to be anyway.
We'll save that for the Facebook goodbye show.
Yes. But they're going to raise up authoritative content. Raise it up. Borderline content. Going to limit it. And they're going to reward trusted creators. I say there's so much I wanted to talk about, but we'd be reading this all night. Removing more hateful and supremacist content from YouTube. YouTube has always had rules of the road. Give way, roundabout, shit like that, I imagine. Including a long-standing policy against hate speech. Ha ha! Have they? Yeah. In 2017, we introduced a tougher stance towards videos with supremacist content. They should put white before that, but anyway. Including limiting recommendations and features like comments and the ability to share the video. This step dramatically reduced views to those videos, on average by 80%. We're supposed to be happy about that, right? Today, we're taking another step in our hate speech policy by specifically prohibiting videos alleging that a group is superior in order to justify discrimination, segregation, or exclusion. Based on qualities like age, gender, race, caste, religion, sexual orientation, or veteran status. Is the caste system really that much of a problem in Western YouTube? I'm not so sure, but anyway, I'm sure they're just trying to cover all the bases. This would include, for example, videos that promote or glorify Nazi ideology, which is inherently discriminatory. Finally, we will remove content denying that well-documented violent events like the Holocaust or the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary took place. Okay, my views on Holocaust deniers are well noted. Scum of the earth. Okay, simple. But the discussion should still happen, because these people still have those opinions. How do you understand things if you won't listen, even to the horrible stuff? But I digress. They said we'll begin updating this policy today. However, it will take time for our systems to fully ramp up. Yada 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 yada. Ban a few thousand accounts. Now this is where it gets to kind of. In addition to removing videos that violate our policies, we also want to reduce the spread of content that comes right up to the line. So, if you're not a white supremacist, but you skirt around the edges to saying Western civilization might be superior, whatever it is, don't get near that edge, guys. Stay well back. Stay in the safe zone. Milky toast. Leftist. Very good. Only hate the approved people. You too can have the green dollars, like what we does. For now. Well, I do. Graham's videos don't. Graham's videos get demonetized consistently. We're looking to bring this updated system. I mean, oh, come on. Promoting a phony miracle cure for a serious illness or claiming the earth is flat. They're gonna ban videos from people saying the earth is flat. So now being mental is against YouTube rules. So you can't say the earth's flat. I mean, I believe all those people are taking the piss anyway. No one can seriously believe that. But do we really need protecting from flat earthers? I could understand saying, if someone's saying don't have chemotherapy, take bicarbonate of soda. That's medical advice. That's a bit more borderline. That's the borderline I'd be saying. That's pretty borderline, depending upon how it was put across. But flat earthers? Protect us. Protect us from people that believe the earth is flat. Basically, thanks to the change in these systems, the number of views this type of content gets from recommendations has dropped by over 50% in the US. Our systems are also getting smarter about what types of videos should get this treatment, and we'll be able to apply it to even more borderline videos moving forward. Those pesky flat earthers, they're not going to get through this one. No. If a user is watching a video that comes close to violating our policies, our systems may include more videos from authoritative sources, like top news channels, in the Watch Next panel. So if you're watching a bit of alternate news, they will say, no, borderline. Here's some Fox, here's some actually more likely, here's some CNN, or here's some Vox. Enjoy. Can you fucking... This is a war on... Anyway, no, I'll get to that in my closing points about this. Anyway, because I'm already going to run over on this, but the openness of YouTube's platform has helped creativity and access to information thrive. True enough. It's our responsibility to protect that by stopping people having a voice and prevent our platform from being used to incite hatred, harassment, discrimination, violence, and I dare say, flat earth theory. Now, they did also directly respond to the Crowder-Mazza situation. I'll blast through this a little quicker. I can't help but talk about something. Oh, this is just so ridiculous. There have been a lot of questions over the last few days about our policies on harassment, particularly around two YouTube creators, Carlos Mazza and Stephen Crowder. These are important issues. Can I just stop you there? I don't believe they are. I don't believe it's even vaguely important what Stephen Crowder said about Carlos Mazza, or what Carlos Mazza said about Stephen Crowder, or how they feel. I don't think, no matter what scheme of things, let alone the grand scheme of things, in any scheme of things, I don't know how this is important. Two people on YouTube got upset with each other. Watch it, enjoy it. Hey, entertainment. I don't see it as that important. But these are important issues, and we'd like to provide more details and context than is possible in any one string of tweets. Remember, there's loads I'm missing out. You can check on the rest of this by going to the YouTube blog. It's all in there. See, policies need to keep up with current problems. One particular challenge we face more and more these days is creator-on-creator harassment. Is it? I remember this shit going on for years. Isn't this what people do? People fall out. People get angry with each other. People talk shit about each other. Most people are adults and can just crack on with their lives, you know? If someone's that awful, stop fucking listening to them. Or challenge them. Or, I don't know, meet up in an Aldi car park, take your shirts off and have a fist fight. Whatever it takes. YouTube say there are two key policies at play here. Harassment and hate speech. So apparently harassment and hate speech are involved, which, as you know, as I mentioned earlier, they found neither of those two things had anything whatsoever to do with Crowder's videos. They said those weren't in there, but were taking his monetization anyway. They say that we consider the entire video. Is it a 2-minute video dedicated to going after an individual, a 30-minute video of political speech where different individuals are called out a handful of times? Is it focused on this, that, the other? For hate speech, we look at whether the primary purpose of the video is to incite hatred toward or promote supremacism over a protected group, or whether it seeks to incite violence. To be clear, using racial, homophobic, or sexist epithets on their own would not necessarily violate either of these policies, but will see you demonetized, I imagine, and possibly cop for a 30-day ban. If you show a pair of tits, you're out the door. Be under no illusion. But that's like that on a few sites, including Lively. Although you won't get banned for it, you won't get a 30-day suspension. We had 2 of those for tits. Banned for tits. For example, as noted above, lewd or offensive language is often used in songs and comedic routines. This is when the primary purpose of the video is hate or harassment, and when videos violate these policies, we remove them. So if that's the case, why did Sargon of Akkad getting all that shit for using racial slurs, when clearly, if you look at the context, you might still be offended, but clearly he's not inciting hatred. He was using those words to annoy white supremacists. That was the context. Whether you like it or not is a different thing entirely. But that was the context. But the context doesn't appear to have been looked at. And that wasn't even on. They caught him out doing something off YouTube as well. Now, this is where it does get a bit uncomfortable. It's the last thing I'm going to read out from this. Then we're going to try and get Drone Tech on because, yeah, we're just about there. Even if a creator's content doesn't violate our community guidelines, we will take a look at the broader context and impact. And if their behavior is egregious and harms the broader community, we may take action. So even if your videos are okay, if the wider community go, oh, my feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt and I'm in a lot of pain, they may take action. In the case of Crowder's channel, a thorough review over the weekend found that individually, the flagged videos did not violate our community guidelines. So individually, the videos were fine. However, in the subsequent days, we saw the widespread harm to the YouTube community resulting from the ongoing pattern of egregious behavior. Took a deeper look and made the decision to suspend monetization. Now, I'm confused. If the individual videos are okay, how is it that altogether they cause a problem? I don't understand that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Remember, you can read those full statements on YouTube blogs, so do go and check those out. So where does this leave us? Thousands of people have lost an account as a result of the fallout of this. But make no mistake, the mainstream media is definitely punching down, and punching down incredibly hard. And there is a war coming of sorts. The thing is, only the ones well-funded can fight it. The pawns, as ever, are just being crushed. Don't be surprised if this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, though, in terms of legislation towards online platforms. I've often been of the belief, to be fair, that a privately owned platform should do as it pleases, make its own rules, decide what content should be on there, and all the other things. But the thing is, more and more as this has gone on, it's become clear that if you have billions of users, and you can even affect the way people think, you can affect elections, you can affect world events, people's behavior, what they perceive as problems in the world, and you're acting more as a publisher than a platform, then maybe it is time. Maybe it is time for somebody to step in and ensure that these massive globo sites either act like platforms and not publishers, or accept some kind of legislation, a people's charter, or whatever you want to call it, that protects political speech, protects opinion. And more I'm coming around to that. I really, really am. But those are my thoughts on it and the background to it. Who I really want to bring in here is our American friend, Drone Tech. Can you hear me, sir?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing, fella?
I am great, bud. How are you doing?
Oh, you know what? Not bad. Enjoying myself immensely. Thanks so much for coming on, mate. Always appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
The thing is, this has quite a direct effect on you. Please do tell us why.
So, really, I got caught up in all this early. They demonetized my channel back in February, literally as the State of the Union started. I was live streaming it, and they demonetized me right at that moment. But I fully expected, and maybe even still, that my channel could get shut down. Because of that, I am, asking people to go and subscribe to me on BitChute, just in case that happens. It could happen. And it's like I talk about in my videos constantly. These people want to shut us all. They want all opposition silenced. And that sounds real conspiratorial. But if you live in America and you just see the media every day, and if you've been following it for a long time, you can see that's where we're headed. And I think this is just another piece of that plan that's being put in. I mean, really, they just want to they want to mitigate how much opposition that they have to deal with leading up to the 2020 election. So they just want their best chances in 2020, and their best chances are going to come by silencing the opposition. And a lot of people out there will say, oh, well, you don't have any right to make money on Facebook or on YouTube. And you know what? They're right. But YouTube claims to be an open platform for all ideas. And when you have it's almost exclusively right-leaning channels that are being shut down, that's a problem, because, YouTube is going to play a part in this election, just like it played a part in last election, which is why this is all happening.
Do you think also, I mean, I don't disagree with a word you said there, despite me obviously being a terrible leftist as described by yourself on your show. Do you think there's also an element that this is an ideal opportunity as well for the mainstream media to crack down a little on alternative media? So they're getting a twofer almost, aren't they? They're getting a 2-for-1. Yeah. And I've often said as well, I do believe there's a silencing of conservative voices on the major platforms, and I do believe that's true. But where do you see this going? What do you see the end point to this being?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clearly going in a direction where, I mean, you're going to get on the internet, and it's basically what they want is they want left-wing ideas, left-wing ideology, all of their ideas, everything that they believe. They want that to be like the starting point. That's like the default position. And anything that questions that or is in opposition to that, they want to frame as somehow way outside the mainstream and extreme. And I think that's just where we're headed. And like you said, and like you were talking about earlier, Vox is owned by NBC. These big companies, they don't want to. Not only do they not want opposition politically, and to have to defend their ideas and their positions, but they don't want competitors. And what you're seeing on YouTube, especially in guys like Crowder, is that they're actually getting more views and more reach than some of these big cable news people.
100%. We had just someone came to see us at the studio, a friend of ours who works in mainstream radio. If you're watching, dude, Rob, great seeing you, mate. Hope to see you again soon. And we were talking about the effect podcast and podcasts and other independently produced media were having on the major companies, and it is having a genuine effect on them. It's having a genuine effect that they don't like. Now, obviously, certain companies, there's nothing they can do, but these huge corporations like NBC, CNN, they can exert massive pressure on advertisers and platforms, especially if the platforms, let's be fair, as centrist as they try and be, there's no getting around the fact that the Silicon Valley dudes are a little left of centre. Right. So they're not going to fight against it. Look at what happened with the guy that did the video of Pelosi.
Right, yeah.
All they had to do was go to Facebook and go, who posted that, please?
Yeah.
That was, was that BuzzFeed?
Yeah, BuzzFeed, and they doxed him.
The AIDS and cancer of the internet decided doxing some itinerant forklift driver was worthwhile and newsworthy. But Facebook just handed that shit over.
He's pretty low. Or he's pretty high, I mean. And yet they turned on him.
It's unreal, isn't it? Absolutely unreal what happened there. It was... I didn't understand that, and we're seeing this more and more. I mean, have you had any news about your monetization yet or anything like that?
No, and I do want to thank, I did start putting out sort of a call to action, asking people to get on Twitter and just tweet at YouTube and, tag me in it as well. Drone Tech put in his remonetization many months ago, review it and give him an answer. That's all I want. But no, I've got nothing, and I got to tell you, with recent events, I really don't think I'll ever get monetization back, probably.
You're not holding out your hope just yet.
I'm not giving up, but I'm definitely not giving up. I will never give up. I mean, and something else about that, I'm working on this website. You're helping me with the website, which thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And once I get that up, that'll give me more, power to do more and to not be as reliant on YouTube. I think that that's what we really need to to start really focusing on the right, and as far as just social media influencers, I hate that word, but we need to start coming together and producing content and getting on other platforms, and we need to get away from YouTube, and we need to get away from ad revenue, because they're just always going to be able to get us that way. Crowder and Shapiro have it right with their mug clubs and things like that.
That's it. We all need to network up, dude. That's what it is. But not just the right. Everybody that's passionate about independent media. I don't like alternative media much as a phrase. I think it comes with too much baggage. But truly independent media, we all need to support each other regardless, or perhaps because of our differences, because that's what makes it stronger. If you can have right-leaning, left-leaning, centrist, whatever, getting together, it means the more extremes are just kept to do their own thing.
And you know what? The extreme positions need to be out there. I want them out there because I want to be able to argue against them and defeat those ideas. That's the whole point of all of this. What's the fun if everybody just agrees with each other and nobody's arguing about anything?
That's the problem these days, dude. Some people absolutely love that. Go on Twitter, But these social media platforms are engineered for that. I thoroughly believe it. Keep people in a happy little bubble. Happy little bubble where they're not confronted. And if they are, they can all attack them together and make the nasty people go away.
Yeah, the mob mentality. Well, and it's funny, you said you bring everybody in together, left and right, and I agree with that 100%. I want all left-wingers to have their freedom of speech and be able to say what they want to say, and I like the idea of them coming in, the ones that agree legitimately with free speech, come in with us. The left-wingers I don't want are like these people I'm arguing with on Twitter who, they'll tell you that, oh, well, Crowder's harmful. What's funny about that? Everything he's saying is harmful. And if you just come back at them with, well, I think that your views are harmful. Should you be silenced? Oh, no, I don't think that. These people, it's
people
like they have no...
comedy is subjective.
Yeah, they have no self-awareness. They never think that their standards and what they want to apply to us will ever be applied to them. So they're okay with it.
Well, the good news is at the end of the show, we got a story where all of a sudden it just start biting them in the ass a little bit with Guy. We do have a lot to get through. Drone Tech, listen, dude, seriously, thank you so much for coming on. It's great to have your input and voice on this. Guys, if you're not already familiar, I'm sure you are, it's Drone Tech Politics on YouTube, soon to be dronetechpolitics.com. Do check him out, subscribe and check out. He has a great channel that, you don't have to agree with, you just got to listen to. Because he has very valid and interesting talking points, and it's a good watch as well. So do go and check that out, guys, seriously. And Drone Tech, always a pleasure, dude. And I'll talk to you probably tomorrow, because there's some stuff I want to tell you with the site as well that we can do.
Excellent. Well, you're doing a great job, Hayden. Keep up the good work.
Cheers, fella. Take care. Bye-bye.
I tell you as well, I'll put a link in the description, and if you're watching this as a clip, there'll be a link right there for him as well.
There we go.
He's gone. Yeah, there'll be a link. So
there'll be links below in the video. Yeah. Brilliant. Right, okay, that's the first. That did go on longer than scheduled, but we did get a call in. That's why we've gone a bit longer. But that's the adpocalypse. We'd love to know what you think. Now I've got to say hello to my boys.
Yeah.
How you doing, Graham? You all right?
I'm good.
Are you enjoying the new system? Straight in.
I don't think I can remember a single time when I've gone 34 minutes into the show before you've come here to call me a pedo. It's
everyone tells me we gotta crack on with this stuff. I'm cracking on.
You're doing a proper show. But thanks, Drone Tech, man. Thanks.
That was brilliant. It's always great to have him on. It's a pleasure. How are you doing, Cherry? You're right, geezer.
I'm fantastic, thank you.
You having fun?
Yeah.
You playing?
No.
Oh, just thought maybe
I was immobilised with a Skype call.
Snake.
He did well, though. He did well queuing up that Skype, didn't he, eh? It went straight on. Good lad.
There we go. If you'd like to Skype in, you can. If we don't pick up straight away, remember, you can just call in. If we don't answer, we will call you back as soon as we get a bit of the time.
Look at all this. He's giving me all tonight. He's giving me all his homework. Look at all this.
How are we doing on social media, by the way?
We did have a shout out. Kenny Ballbag really wants you to say hello to his wife, Betty.
Well, how can I not say hello to Betty Ballbag?
Oh yeah, I tell you what, I'll get rid of us for a second so she can full screen really enjoy it. There you go.
Betty Ballbag. That's fucking brilliant. Kevin and Betty Ballbag.
Sounds like a lovely couple.
We had a super chat off Alan demanding.
Alan, I did see your super chat. Thank you so much.
He wants a butter spoon tutorial.
We are going to sort that. We were talking about that earlier. Yes, we were very, very, very remiss. We'll get on that, Alan, for sure. And thank you very much for the super chat. Remember, guys, there are super chats. It guarantees you'll be read out, but it does take money off you.
Yeah,
And
but
gives it to us. Redistributes the wealth like the socialists that we are. Well, we're not because we don't distribute it back out. But it gets it coming in the right direction, doesn't it, Graham?
yeah, you.
There we go.
It all goes to Hayden.
And I spend it, to be fair,
He does. He spends
on
it on
drugs and
Trigger Warning.
hookers. And then a little bit on Trigger One.
Oh,
little bit
seeing
of
as Alan already gave us a super chat, I'll read out one of his standard comments, which was Graham's videos are rubbish. Thanks, Alan. Well, you know,
Harsh.
Harsh.
Could be taken as harsh.
Would you like an email?
that's hate speech.
I will, but I feel really bad for Alex because we sent him a running order and everything, and I've already completely fucked that out by about 15 minutes.
Sorry, Alex.
But I did ring him and tell him we were taking a call. So yeah, let's have an email really quickly, then we'll crack on.
Smoke Steve. Hey fellas, this censorship bullshit is creating an opening for the new badass version of triggerwarning.tv. Really, it could grow quickly, but would you allow racist and hateful content, or will there be some level of censorship?
I've not worked extensively on the rules just yet. The legals are all in there. There's so much to build for this. Believe me, it's a fucking huge project for me. There will be rules, but I don't know specifically what they'll be, and a lot of it will be host dependent. And we're going to put, if we do have anything like that, there's going to be context in the actual context that we will adhere to.
Well,
there's also
yeah.
going to be a charter, by the way. There is actually going to be a charter. Sounds petty, but there's going to be our promise to the people of what we will and won't do. And we will adhere to that, and that'll be a living document. It can be updated with the users and everything else. It's not a big site. It's our site, so we can do these things with it. So will there be rules? Of course there will. Otherwise, you end up with child porn and dog fucking on the front page. We don't want that. But there will be context for all of these things, and we will evolve with it, and we'll work with it. And the idea is, while we're small, it's easy to talk to members that maybe break the rules rather than just put draconian punishments on them, which you have to do with a bigger site because they're so hard to control. We're going to be a lot more fortunate, so we'll definitely talk a lot more about that when we get there. We've got to crack on. Although Graham looks happy. What is it, dude?
Just train bomb there. The left is for self-determination of working class. It's like, God, mate, you're a few years late for that sort of rhetoric. Don't give a fuck about the working class, but yeah.
This is going to grim down a little bit here, but we're going to talk about euthanasia, teen euthanasia. Once again, the online debate has exploded again. This time it was centered around a 17-year-old Dutch girl called Noah Pothoven or Pothoven. I'm really not sure. I do apologise. 17, such a pretty young thing, wasn't she? Very angelic. She passed away in a home, surrounded by her family, on a hospital bed in a house. And it was widely reported that this was legal euthanasia, something, which is legal in the Netherlands from the age of 12. Now, it doesn't mean they just hand it out like sweeties, but it is legal. But obviously on the internet, everything is the extreme. No context, no nuance. It's 12. Let 12-year-olds die. It's not quite how it works. Anyway, the rights and wrongs of euthanasia and how people perceive those quickly overwhelmed what is essentially the story of a young girl who felt incapable of getting over some events in her past where she was sexually abused, and the depression that came from that. She couldn't cope with it. At the age of 17, she felt that she couldn't cope any longer. See, the thing is, that was quite quickly ignored while the argument raged on as to whether a young girl should be able to make a choice to end her life or not. But it seems like all these people saying that keep forgetting something, that all these people have that choice anyway. You know? And how is it any better for someone to find their daughter hanging from a tree outside or throwing themselves in front of a train off a fucking building than having them die peacefully, I guess, and in a manner that has some level of dignity, as much dignity as it can ever be brought to death. And how is it better? I don't understand how people see this as preferable. Euthanasia, ban it. What if they go and kill themselves? Meh. What? You know, kids shouldn't have to check out violently. Young people who can't cope, well, what do you think? They got a terminal illness that's hugely painful. Or in this case, a mental illness of depression, which is no less crippling than the physical ailments that people get. No less. Never mind all this, I'm feeling a bit depressed, I'll have a Prozac type thing. No, depression is a fucking killer. It's a black dog some people cannot get out of. And like I say, it's no less crippling than something like MS or locked-in syndromes or anything like that. But the thing is, everyone's screaming about euthanasia, and there's no evidence whatsoever that legal euthanasia was involved in this. Somehow it was misreported, predominantly in the British press, I believe, and maybe Australian press, that it was euthanasia because it is legal, and she did die in a bed in her living room. It turns out that she did contact several clinics about this, but she put out a statement on how they responded. I'll read this for you. They consider that I am too young to die. So even though it's legal at 12, doesn't mean they do it. They consider that I am too young to die. They think I should finish my trauma treatment and that my brain must first be fully grown. That lasts until your 21st birthday. It's broken me because I can't wait that long. I've written this twice. It's broken me because I can't wait that long. 17 years old. Couldn't hang in there. Despite the best efforts of a family of professionals, she could not carry on living. So she couldn't go for euthanasia. She obviously didn't want to put her family through something like the other forms of suicide. So in the end, Noah, that beautiful young woman, 17, simply stopped eating and drinking and said publicly, you know, this should take no longer than 10 days to die. Destroyed young woman had to deny herself food and drink in order to die. Okay. People say could have taken pills, could have done that. What if there were no pills in that? I don't think she had the options. Now, naturally, the debate just rumbled on, regardless, about the incorrect claims of euthanasia, by the way. People didn't care that it wasn't that now. It had gone beyond her and into the euthanasia. I mean, it wasn't just on social media or the internet. It was on TV shows, this huge debate, and people taking this moral high ground, and often religious high ground. It raised on that she should have been kept alive, forced fluids, perhaps sectioned. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because every part of you feels that it's wrong to let someone die. And if it's someone you love, if you've got a child, you can't even consider this. I thought about it earlier while I was putting these notes together, and you can't even give it headspace. The idea of losing your kid to something you can't defeat, and it's not like it's a disease which you can try and fight, and there may come a point where they can't fight anymore, but you know that they fought. But with mental illness, you can't gauge that. There's no measure of how you're getting there. So at what point do we let people decide to die? At what point do we accept that they simply cannot, not just don't want to live, oh, I'm miserable, I don't want to be alive anymore, cannot live. They've seen doctors, they've seen professionals, I cannot carry on. Do we really let them deprive themselves of food and water so they lie in a bed towards the end, just waiting for their internal organs to shut down? Is that what we do? It's got to be uncomfortable and painful, for fuck's sake. But the thing is, what do we do? I was trying to think of my opinion. I've even asked myself the question, what is my bloody opinion on this one? Because I think it's very hard to look at logically. We say that people should be allowed to vote from 16, have sex at 16. You know, they should probably, you know, if you're going to let people go to war and fuck, you should probably let them smoke and drink as well at 16 if they want. You know, allowed to die? And not just for flimsy reasons. Obviously, you don't want people queuing up at the clinic because they've had a bit of a shit day. But with this history she had and she destroyed, would it not have been kinder? It's so hard because every part of me saying you can't let this young girl die, but she could not carry on. She desperately needed to die. What the fuck do you do? How do you just turn to God and say, no, that is wrong, or I think that shouldn't be allowed, therefore you just sit there and fucking suffer? Or that horrible bullshit of it's all just a test. It's all just a fucking test. I'm sure she was told that as well online. God is just testing you, my child. Your reward will be in heaven. What a lovely God. Had you raped? Several times. Wonderful. I don't know. Drone Tech is in chat. They're saying it's got nothing to do with politics. It's got nothing to do with religion. Well, sometimes it does, dude. That's why suicide is a sin. For some religious people, it does have a lot to do with religion. You can't give a blanket pass like that. If I talk about religious people saying that, it's because they believe. I think all the Abrahamic religions consider suicide to be a terrible sin. The Catholics will certainly see you burning in hell for it.
Drone Tech also said a little bit earlier that she needed help, not death.
They tried that, though. That's the thing, dude. I'm not talking about giving up on someone. I'm talking about years of therapy and someone saying, I'm not continuing. What do you do? Do you force them to live? You're saying she didn't know any better. You don't know her. I would feel the same about someone at the age of 21, but I'm 46. But we don't know her. We haven't walked a mile in her shoes. What if she was determined one way or the other? What do you do? Section them and force them to live until they have some kind of terrible breakdown? What do you do? Drone Tech saying force them to live, but who gives you the right to do that?
Yeah, I know, but surely at that point, sectioning it must be on the cards.
Well, I think the thing is they can't section people who go through all the reasonable scientific tests of being rational and lucid. To be sectioned, you have to be irrational. If she could show that she was reaching these decisions from a rational point of view, how can they section you?
Yeah, but you know what, though? The other thing is that you also don't know how she's been prepped, how she's... If somebody's already fucked her, then who knows what situation is going on?
I'm going to be honest, guys, as a parent,
yeah,
I'd do everything.
Yeah.
But there must be a point, you know? This is an exceptional case.
A lot of shit changes in 5 years, though.
Yeah.
No one's like they were at 22.
Exactly, but how do you
17.
tell someone when they're in that position where they're willing to starve themselves to death? Which is a terrible way to go.
Yeah.
How do you tell them? Come on, just another few years, you might be all right.
Bob Stew said the only people who know how major depression actually feels are the ones who have experienced it. It's absolutely brutal.
And it's different for everybody. Even people that have experienced it don't know what it's like for the next person. That's an important thing to remember as well. Mm-hmm. If you've never experienced it, it's very hard to judge.
Here's the other thing, though, in terms of you saying lucidity. You know, we're currently teaching kids that they're just fine as they are. There's this whole culture of not criticising them, not challenging them. You know, you're a beautiful, precious little individual.
I'm talking simply legally.
So no, but culturally, though, in terms of the way we're bringing them up now, they're the most fragile things on the planet. So something that might be deep, dark, horrible depression, because they've experienced a childhood where they've not been challenged or had any strength whatsoever given to them, then maybe to her there is no way out. Do you know what I mean? And I understand, you know, she was obviously raped, so there's circumstances there. But, you know, as Chappie said, my granddad flew a Spitfire at 17. You know, and I'm not saying we should be in a generation where we're, you know, fucking off at war fighting fascism. But there's a middle ground between the pathetic shite that we've got now
Like a generation
and
gap,
that.
innit?
Yeah, well, this is, because life is so easy where, someone not getting enough Instagram likes is now a reason to kill yourself. So
Yeah, I think in this
getting
case,
raped,
this was
it's
one
game
that's
over.
is quite extreme.
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful
yeah.
17-year-old girl. Okay? If she was 18, that'd be an adult. Would she be allowed to legally decide then if she could prove that she was legally sane? Because remember, legal sanity is very clearly defined. How else can you judge things like this?
I think at 18, it's a whole different argument because you're grown up. You've got the right. If you want to kill yourself, you got the right. At 17, no.
Should have the right.
Should have the right, yeah. But
Even at
17,
18,
no.
we could argue that you're not actually fully mentally developed. And the doctors said that
Yeah.
to her themselves.
I agree with that, and you need help, and you get section. I mean, I don't know. It's hard because you don't know how the facts on the ground
Exactly.
fully.
See,
from
what we're
this.
doing and what people are doing in there, like Drone Tech in there saying 18-year-olds are idiots.
Yeah.
Blanket statement. It's tricky. What we're doing is judging an emotive subject.
My 18-year-old
emotions.
girl wants to kill herself. I will drag her by her hair
course
to
you
the
will.
mental hospital.
Yeah.
And even if she screams for a full fucking year while she's strapped to the bed, and even if she hates me for the
Here's
rest
the
of her
problem,
life,
though, Graham.
even if she fucking hates me,
But here's the problem.
at least she's got
from
through
that point
it.
of view.
Yeah,
Whilst
go
I
on.
agree with you,
Yeah.
and I'd do the same, you'd also do that to your 35-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
But what do you do if your 35-year-old daughter has a terminal illness
Well,
and wants to check out before?
that's a whole different set of circumstances. Then you're
Yeah.
dealing
But
with
isn't
that.
extreme depression also, in some ways, can be a terminal illness?
Possibly.
It's very tricky.
But I mean, you
Well, sometimes if you've got a terminal illness, you might not want to prolong it. You might just want to.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point of euthanasia. Yeah, that's
it depends on it. If at 35, there's a different set of circumstances, isn't there? Like if you don't have kids,
but you'd still drag your kid
fucking
to
go.
them
Yeah, of course I would.
if you had the energy.
Well, yeah.
Of course you would. Goes without saying. It's a huge. I mean, the main reason I brought this up was not to justify it. I can't. I'm a parent. I can't. I could never. I don't know how I'd allow that. But at the same time, would you just end up breeding kids that don't talk to you about this and just go and do it? See, it's never as simple as people make out. Oh, would you? No, fuck that. No. I'll put you in a mental hospital. Right, I'm not going to tell you. I'll just nip away and fucking kill myself. It's never simple. It's never simple. The problem is when we look at allowing someone to die. Very difficult. I believe it should be every adult's right to decide how the end of their life should be. I'm not sure about some of the ones with Dignitas where you can just be tired of life. I don't know that that's really the best reason to check out, but if you have a terminal illness, you just don't want to have that dreadful end to your life where you're a burden on everybody and you have no control of your body or over your mind, and you think, no, I'm going to check out while I'm still on top. I think that should be every adult's choice. I think it gets harder with depression and mental illness a lot. I think my personal belief is the 17-year-old girl should not have been allowed to die. I can't move away from that. I'm trying, because my job here is to get people discussing and debating, but the truth is, I couldn't. I just couldn't. Like Graham said, and he's right, if she'd hated me for the rest of her life, I'd have still done everything so that she had a rest of her life to live, regardless of her feelings to me. But
That's what you want to do.
yeah. I guess her parents saw things differently. It doesn't mean they're bad either. It just means, I don't know, I wouldn't even want to be in that situation. It's too much, that. It's way too much. Let us know your thoughts, though. Email us live at triggerwarning.tv or Skype in. Cherry, you look like you want me.
We got an email.
Okay.
Hi guys, on my jollies, but I've managed to get in the bar into the hotel and put you guys on the TV. Please say fucktards.
Who is it?
Tez.
Tez, how you doing, fella? Fucktards. Oh, there you go. Hope you're having a great time wherever you are. It's warm.
He's not replied back yet.
Okay, well, wherever it is, dude, hope you have a great time. Enjoy yourself. Give us a shout when you get back. Maybe come and see us again. It's been a while. We've had a super chat from Rob Fist. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the TW shirt. I'm wearing it now. I will wear it with pride every day. Yours truly, Mad Irishman. Oh,
Good lad. Good
long
lad.
may you sail in that shirt happily.
We got Skype as well if you fancy it.
Yeah, we're already horribly late and we're making Alex's life a misery. Let's hear who this is. Hello.
Where's he gone?
What I like is it's so sharp on it.
We were connected. There we go.
Yeah. No, don't let me hear it ringing. Just let's speak to him and bring him back. We'll see. Who is it, by the way? In fact, don't read the name. It might not even be the name you wanna use.
I can't. There's no stage name there. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, who's this?
how are you? This is the American Rebellion.
Oh, hello, sir. How are you? First time we've spoken. All the times I've seen you on Live Leak, I don't think we've ever actually spoken. How are you doing this evening?
Very well, thank you. You know, listen, you were talking about the girl. When I was 32 years old, I wanted to end it all. I was an alcoholic, a dope fiend, you name it. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the TW shirt. I'm wearing it now. I love
Oh,
it.
sorry. I think we're getting the show back there on a delay. My best if you mute the stream just there, because we could hear you and then we heard ourselves back.
all right, there you go.
There, but that's better, dude. So yeah, sorry, you
How's that?
were saying to us you went through all these things in your 30s.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say. Had I done what I wanted to do, and I was, this close, I wouldn't have lived, the last 22, 23 years clean and sober, continuously getting better and better, being able to go through hard times and good times and everything else. I agree that I couldn't let my 17 or 18-year-old or my 28-year-old daughter go through this. I don't know what I'd do, but I'd do something.
I couldn't agree with you more, dude.
I think it's a permanent solution to possibly a temporary problem. I mean, there's a lot of things I would want to know. How long was she in therapy? They said years. I know that. But in order for you to get out of depression, you actually have to act. You can't expect someone else to do it for you. You cannot expect someone to hand you a magic pill. You also have to use everything at your disposal to do that.
Well, sometimes, as we know, sometimes it doesn't work, does it? It kills a lot of people.
Yeah, and I have another question also, just in general. Why? Why is there so much of this now?
Do you know what the truth is?
Why?
I think life on a day-to-day basis is more intense than it ever was before. Everything is a massive problem now. And also, you've got to remember, we're a lot more connected than we've ever been before. Even when I was growing up, apart from what was on the big news, I didn't know what happened 3 streets away from me. My whole life was on 2 streets with my friends. But now,
right.
I'm chatting to you in the States, and I'll chat to someone in Russia and someone in Lithuania, and
Right.
we're hearing so much more of how things are. And also, I think there's a little less social stigma.
I know somebody. Possible, yeah, that's a problem also. But I know somebody who lives in Australia. She's on my show on Facebook all the time. She was gang raped, got pregnant, had the child, raised a child. I think it has something to do with mental toughness also that we don't have like we used to.
That's very possible.
I'm not saying she's the happiest person on the planet, but she's always strong, and her child that she had by rape is thriving because she raised her correctly. And I got to tell you, people like that, I got more respect for than anything in the world. And I understand there's people out there that ain't quite as strong as myself or you or somebody else.
I think what it is, you have to respect anyone that...
Kids with
but you have to respect anyone that's fought a war, even if they don't win. You've got to respect them. So I can fully understand that. Dude, we're running a little bit late. I'm so glad you called in, though, and I hope you do more often, by the way. We still got a few things, but I will say, everybody, check out the American Rebellion show. Again, cracking show. It's entirely his opinion, his point of view, and it should be heard. It's on Live Leak. It's on Facebook as well, I believe. Do check it out. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll give you a link to it, and if he passes it on, Graham will get it in the description as well. Thanks so much for calling in, sir, and you have a great day or evening, whatever you've got.
Hey, when's Live Leak coming back up for live videos?
We're working on that really hard right now. We've got to completely do something with the streaming platform, but I'll keep everyone in the loop as soon as I know more. Okay, dude.
Great.
Take care. Take care, my
yourself.
friend.
Hey.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye. The American Rebellion there. That was a cool call as well. We're doing well tonight. Don't take American Rebellion.
Love those calls. Love those super chats.
We do. Yeah, we love those super chats. We are running about 20 minutes pound, but you know what? I don't care. We're finishing this. We're finishing this. We're doing it. I'd rather run late, but just get just once.
Is that your bedroom talk back, Hayden? Is it?
Oh, no, I always finish.
I always finish.
Be aware. I always finish. Sometimes before other people have started. But it's all about me. Right, listen, guys. As much as we do love doing trigger warning, we're always going to do trigger warning, but we do rely on your support. We just do, and there's so much we want to do. I'll tell you more about the site that's coming up very soon on a future broadcast. We're a little pushed for time tonight, but it's going to be great. But if you do want to help support Trigger Warning, for now, you can go to patreon.com/triggerwarningtv, anything from $1 and up. Whatever, if you can manage it, it helps. It's that simple. You can also donate via PayPal, although there's no link anywhere because the site's not up at the minute. But you will find links underneath in the description. I think you can even Bitcoin now, which the cool kids are using. I don't know what it does. We've got some. I don't know what it is. I just move it from one wallet to another. Ooh.
We should start trading between and like hours and hours of work just to increase your value by $1, and then.
I spoke to someone just last week who could tell me exactly what to do with that, but I'm frightened I wouldn't have understood properly. But yeah, we do rely on your support. There's so much we want to do. The new website is going to be a platform for you as well. Notice I say platform. It's going to have the social media in there. It's going to have the regular website. It's got an integrated forum. And it will be, you'll have to ask first and we'll authorize it and make it happen. I don't want to automate it just yet. You'll be able to have your own blog/mini site on Trigger Warning, just like a WordPress blog. In fact, that's what it'll be to all intents and purposes. Your address will be triggerwarning.tv/yourname. We'll pick whatever theme you want and just have at it and get your voice out there. Be heard until you're ready to go off on your own and fly the nest.
Smoke Steve is asking, which is the best way for the highest cut for us?
Well, right now, Patreon's great because we can see what's coming in. But in the next week or two, when the site goes live, we'll be asking people if they would very kindly shift from Patreon onto the site because that'll take out one level. But Patreon are very good. It's just a couple of %. But that way we can see what's coming in and we know what we can spend on that piece of software, this bill, things like that. We know what can be apportioned each month, and that's really important for planning ahead, especially with the outlay we're doing with the site. With it's all bought plugins. We're not no bent plugins here. It's all legit. But we are going to be getting away from them. We'll still be stuck with the whims of some payment processing platforms, but maybe something else will present itself further down the line on that score. But right now, we're just looking at bringing as much in-house as possible, so we're not reliant on too many external platforms for what we do. So that's coming soon. But we do have to crack on, because we really, really do. And we'll give some shout-outs soon as well, by the way. Donald Trump came to the UK. British people took to the streets in their droves down in that London, again, to demonstrate the presence of the President of the United States of America. And they were very angry that our government had the temerity to invite the most powerful man in the world to visit our country. Because he's not a nice man. I can't argue with that part. But they flew their inflatable Trumps, so they were bobbing around, and they had the march with the floats, and generally had a party over someone they find unpleasant being there, which of course is their right. Everyone has the right to do this, I suppose. I could argue that just because you can might not mean that you should, but I digress. Naturally, the peaceful folks, should we say on the left? What did you say? They were mostly leftists that were there?
Yeah, the right's just giving up hating him now. They're all getting on with it.
They got up to shenanigans. Not necessarily widely reported shenanigans either. There was one where this woman was screaming at abuse at this man who, Twitter reliably informs me, was a terrible gammon. Gammon. Buy the shirt from Gear Press. We're taking it back. Screaming in his face, cheering when a milkshake landed on him. Now she's not happy because someone pointed to her Twitter account. I guess that's not really doxing, is it? What was doxing when someone said, oh, it's her and she's an NHS worker? But it was all stuff she'd released in public. So that's not doxing. That's not doxing. If someone's put on Twitter who they are and what they do, you've put it out there. It's not doxing to point to it. People need to get their heads around this a little bit. I've got a thing. If it's cross-platform, if it's something someone... This is one of the rules we've always had on LL. We had it on previous sites. I've got it on Trigger Warning. If they've released the information on that site in public, then that is available on that site, and they're saying they're willing for it to be shared there. If they don't share any of that and someone brings it in from outside, that's doxing. There you go. Or, they dig it up by whatever nefarious means and put it somewhere where they didn't want it without permission. Anyway, screaming milkshakes, everyone cheered. On one occasion, there was an old, I think he was in his 70s, wearing a MAGA hat. Not a mega hat. Available from gearpress.co.uk. All the merch. Good prices, not bad, not bad.
Good quality too. It was all checked thoroughly before it went home, wasn't it?
By someone. But it is, it's alright, I've bought a few bits off there, it works. I've not had a mega hat yet. I might get one. Hashtag Hayden on one, that'd be quite cool. They dragged an old man to the floor in his 70s for wearing a MAGA hat. To the floor. These are the good people. Now, I'm not going to pretend for a minute Trump's a great guy. But I'm not sure it makes you particularly good if you push old men over. I think that's wrong. That makes you a twat. An awful, awful person. And all those that laughed and cheered it on, you're equally as awful. I put it to you that I've not seen videos of Donald Trump pushing old people over. Do you really have to have a hold my beer moment? Really? But here's the thing that really bothers me. I mean, obviously the old man thing bothers the shit out of me, but all these people taking to the streets about Trump, as is that right? But where were they when Robert Mugabe came over? Where were these people then? Alan Reeder says he tripped. He did, with someone holding his arm on the way down. It's a shocking situation. They were being lovely to the old man. My mistake. Where were they when Mugabe came in? Or any number of Middle Eastern leaders who view human rights as, something that happens to other countries, not to theirs. We roll the carpet out for them motherfuckers all the time. But Trump? I mean, whether you like him or loathe him, he's the President of the United States of America. Our ally, a country we've shared history with. We've had our ups and downs and everything like that, and there are many things we just frankly don't understand about each other's countries. But in political terms, America's our friend. We support them, they support us. It's not about the man, it's about the office. He is the president. Like him or not, he is the president of the United States. I'm not saying you should all queue up to kiss his ass, but do you not think you're being a little bit selective with this outrage? He said grab women by the pussy. That's not nice. That Prince, whatever his fucking name is, has people killed for being gay. Yeah, but we just don't talk about that because Trump. Fuck off. Just get to fuck. It's just, you're doing it because you think it's the right thing, because you just feel socially motivated to be a good person. It's not being good, it's being fucking gullible. If you don't like a world leader that talks to our politicians, ignore the prick. Because all you've done is make him more popular. Oh yeah, but there were thousands of us on the street. Yeah, millions of people in America thought, fuck you guys, that's our fucking president. You're just pushing people towards them. That's how that shit works. What did you achieve from this? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. And I'm not even going to mention the Lord Mayor of London, or the Mayor of London, sorry, not the Lord Mayor, just the Mayor of London, who used to campaign for the worst kinds of shit to be allowed into our country, but didn't want Trump here. Nothing like riding that populist wave, as long as it's the right populist wave. And by right, I don't mean right. I mean, you know what I mean. I also noticed, though, that Corbyn didn't attend any of the events with Trump.
Apparently, Corbyn asked him for a meeting, and Trump... Yeah.
Get into that, because Donald Trump dropped Jeremy Corbyn right the fuck in it during a meeting. All this shit's just making me start to like the guy. It's a bad thing, because he's not a good person. I don't mean Jeremy Corbyn. I know he's not a good person either. I mean Trump. Yeah, he just said, yeah, Jeremy Corbyn wanted to meet me, but we decided not to do that. It's like, ooh, boom, oh, that was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. But it's amazing, isn't it? Jeremy wouldn't meet Trump because Trump bad man. Orange man bad. He'll go on Al-Quds marches where they're all screaming for the death of fucking Jews. He'll meet with terrorists. He'll say we should invite fucking people over that murder us. He was saying, he quoted a book where some politician from the 30s said it'd be more peaceful if we'd laid down our arms against Germany. I don't remember Jeremy Corbyn saying that to the fucking IRA. Just lay down your arms, lads. Or to anyone else, just us. It's almost as if he doesn't like us very much. Now, it's no secret, I don't like Donald Trump. I really dislike the man. I don't know him, but what I know of him, I dislike as a person. I don't like his attitude. I don't like what he's done to small businesses over his time. I don't like the bellicose bullshit he comes out with. I detest the lies and the gaffes. But, the thing is, like everyone else, I'm talking about him. And everyone else is talking about him. And he is the President of the United States of America, arguably the most powerful nation on the planet Earth. And therefore should be... Do you know what? You've got to offer some respect, if not to him, then to the office. No matter how you think he tarnishes the office, if you do, we're disrespecting a lot of people. But at the same time, you can't tell people not to march. Trump very briefly also mentioned in one speech that the in trade negotiation, we've got a big thing. We don't want the American insurance companies and drug companies, whatever, getting their hands on our NHS. He said, well, everything's on the table during trade talks, NHS, whatever. Later on, he stepped back from that because he said, I said that in a trade talk, everything's on the table, but he doesn't consider personally the National Health Service as being something he would take into trade talks. People didn't know what to believe. Well, yes, they did. They just believed the worst one. That's what they did. So that's where we are. You know what? A load of people making the feelings that that's fine, but if you take it too far, you just sound fucking stupid. I just saw it as a whole waste of time. And, we've invited worse over than him. Far worse. And they've not faced protests. Populist nonsense. All of it. People that think they're politically aware.
We've just had an amazing update whilst we've been live on air, actually. And a woman in Florida has stabbed herself 3 times because she's tired of living in Trump country.
You got to let people like that go.
She said,
you just got to let them go.
The police found her outside of her house, bleeding from her hands, legs, and face. She stabbed herself in the face because Donald Trump is the president.
In the face.
In the face.
She really doesn't like him. I thought I wasn't keen, but how much do you have to not like someone? Do you know what? I'm sick of this president. Oh, fuck this shit. I'm still... No. I think she might have problems. But some people, you've just got to let them go. And I think anyone that's willing to kill themselves because they don't like the president or prime minister of their country, mental hospital, or just let them go. But maybe not if she's just going to sit in the middle of the fucking road stabbing herself in the face. Because that's awkward, isn't it? Because it's going to take a long time.
Can you imagine stabbing yourself because Trump? Just because. No!
In this country. What do you mean? Brexit's not going how I want?
Theresa May! She just won't quit!
Yeah.
Some people need to just chill the fuck out.
No, Jesus Christ.
It'll only be a maximum of 4 more years. Imagine you could wait that long without stabbing yourself in the face. Because I have heard these things change. I mean, what if the next person's worse and she's used it all up now? What if the next person's really... What if it's 4 more years of Trump? Hide the knives. She needs a butter spoon. They're the sort of people that need butter spoons.
That's so much better than the joke I was going to say.
That's why your videos get demonetized.
Mine was going to be quite phobic. Because there's a certain group you can join if you're a woman and you really want to get abused, isn't there?
Is that?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Yeah. No.
Go on. No.
Well, I was just thinking along the lines of if she could stab herself in the vagina, then I thought, well, why stab yourself in the vagina? You could just become a Muslim, can't you? They'll cut it off, sew it up, burn it, all sorts.
Burn it.
Yeah.
Fire.
Down there.
Is that how they do it?
Make sure you're good and right.
Is that what they do?
I didn't know. That's how... It's not the fucking Exorcist.
You. Best bet, innit? Tell you it's for your own protection.
So I'm shut.
Then they'll just put you with a little mesh there, so no one can see the fact that you're going all the time.
How widespread is? Now, do you know what? I'm not getting into a debate.
Once they've removed the lips,
we've had enough grim stuff today.
Well, they have the same rhetoric around circumcision, don't they? They say it's for hygiene reasons and all the rest of it.
Is it? I don't know what age it's done.
And then for some women
in Islam,
they
circumcision.
Oh, they do it to kids.
Is it to babies like in Judaism or
the one girl that's been the one prosecution we've had out of the thousands that we have every year in this country, the one girl was because they ended up taking her to hospital, and she was a kid. She was a child.
In one prosecution.
Yeah,
really.
one.
It's ridiculous.
And that was because it was so horrifically bad that there's no way they could cover it up. And
I've had the debates about circumcision and things like that. Female circumcision. You know, if it's, I had to explain to people, well, you don't need the force. It's like, I don't need my fucking earlobes either, but I'd rather you didn't cut the fuckers off. They serve no purpose.
I've got everything in mind.
Well, yeah, when I was younger, I did, but when you get to a certain age, you just look like a twat. You've passed that age, by the way.
Amen. I would be a lot more hygienic without my balls, but I don't mean I want someone to cut them off for my own good.
Yeah, but at least they have a purpose.
Oh, not mine anymore.
No, but they did serve a purpose.
No more kids.
You just get the tube stab. Well, earlobes don't need earlobes.
Yeah.
If you don't sweat a lot, you don't need eyebrows.
Vaginal lips and clitorises serve a purpose as well, though, don't they?
There you go. So why remove things? I don't know. You can't get into the head of these religious fucking people.
I've been really angry about FGM recently. So when you talk about it, really angry about it, the more I think about it.
It's been a long time since we've covered that on a show.
Yeah. I think the last time I checked, I can't remember if it was 2016 or 2017, it was 4,600 in this country that we knew about. So where's the convictions then? We've done one in the entire history. One. Nearly 5,000 a year.
Don't. It's just, I'm not in the mood for getting as angry as I'll
and then people are out fucking doing Trump balloons that they spent tens of thousands on.
I'm thinking about maybe skipping chlorinated chicken now.
It's probably for us, it's quite late.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And we got the pictures of all the raw chickens. It's not great. But maybe we'll come back to chlorinated chicken another time. It was all right. Basically, here's the thing. If we have a trade deal after Brexit and we do get US chlorinated chicken, which is not bad because of the chlorine, it's just that we believe hygiene should happen far sooner in the production process. That's why more people die of things like salmonella in the US, even per capita, than they do in the UK. It's different strokes, different folks. If we do get it, I'd like to remind all the guys screaming and shouting and saying it's a reason not to have Brexit, that you don't have to eat it. But it'll be 1/5 cheaper. Well, you're not going to get the bargain. Don't eat it. I probably won't. So there you go. That seems to be the easy way of doing it. It's not like with the halal, unless they do it like they do the halal, so where it gets slipped in without letting you know. Because I object to halal and kosher slaughter. I object to it. I don't think there's any need to give an animal a slower and more painful death. Because some sky genie told you to. I don't believe in that. I think it's a simple open and shut case of animal cruelty.
I don't need none of that shit, man. I'm fine with my horse meat lasagna from Aldi.
Yeah, that's the other example. How dare they? How dare they destroy our standards? And there was a massive scandal here of them just feeding us shit horse meat from France. Because in Britain, horse meat isn't a big seller in Britain, to be honest with you. But people are also getting mad about the fact there's chlorine in it. Well, what do you think your salad was washed in that you get in the packet and all that? It's all chlorinated, like that vegan of ours just said there. It's just all bollocks.
I had an email of Tess saying Graham should fight Butterbean.
Oh, I do not say no. Have you seen how hard that fat little fucker hits people?
No, then. Okay.
Oh,
really?
He put you to sleep forever.
For the butter title of the world.
Be good content, though, wasn't it?
He was great. He was great to watch. Just a really fat guy.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. Don't even have an evil face. He's just big fat bloke. You get in the ring with people, knock him into next year. Boom! That was it.
I only fight women, so try.
I don't know fuck
again.
all about fighting. I watch sometimes compilations on YouTube. They roll onto other ones, and because you get down that rabbit hole, it's like, well, look at that fat bloke knocking the shit out of people, and you're there for 20 minutes, and then it's on to a review of a car or something. It takes me down a rabbit hole. That's how I found out about Butterbean. So yeah, do check him out. We do have one more story. And by the way, anyone that feels inclined towards super chats, go on, hit it. We'll give you a shout out. I promise. I've not spent as much time with you guys tonight. I do apologize. We just had so much to get through. Maybe when the site's up, we'll start putting these site notes.
This is what happens when we don't do a bloody podcast on a Tuesday, innit?
Yeah. But maybe when we get the site up, we'll start putting all the site notes up, the show notes up, if they get done. And then they got it all available for them. They can read my shit notes about chlorinated chicken. That might not make that much sense as a narrative, but it's stuff people can have, isn't it? It's not a problem. Sign them. You can sign them and give them away, Graham. Sign them and sell them. You're famous. Right, one more story. We did say earlier about it biting the left back on the arse, all this sensorial thing and getting people... deplatformed and all that. By the way, I am very sorry. I've not mentioned it yet. We did miss the podcast on Tuesday. Much and many going on. We'll talk about some of it on Tuesday when we got a bit more time. Maybe I'll do a stream of my own where I can unburden myself upon the good people and get personal. Because I do that. We spoke about how it's going to come back and bite the left. Well, we're going to talk about gorgeous George Galloway. Now, as you know, look at him. Gorgeous. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of George Galloway. Don't like the man very much. He had a gig on Talk Radio. He's been fired. He's been fired from Talk Radio in the UK. They decided he'd taken one too many pot shots at the Jews and fired him for making an allegedly, apparently, anti-Semitic comment on Twitter. He made a tweet following Liverpool's victory in the Champions League, and it read, you can see it there, but it's probably very small on your screen. Congratulations to the great people of Liverpool. To the memory of the socialist miner Bill Shankly, who was a famous Liverpool manager, for those that don't know. To the fallen 96 people that died. It was the not Heiselstein, it was Heisel, for fuck's sake. It was Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't it? Where was it? How have I forgotten that? 96 people died in the crush at the side of the pitch.
I can't remember. I don't know, man.
I feel really bad now.
Yeah, it's West.
Why did I say Heisel? That was a completely
Heisel's not
thing.
right.
Completely different thing.
Someone's going to tell us.
Some angry person's going to tell us.
It's really obvious, and it's when we'll hear it, we'll go, oh, yeah.
It's just we've just all had that blank moment because I didn't put it in here. But 96 people lost their lives who shouldn't have lost their life. To those who fought for justice for them, and to the Liverpool Dockers. I don't know what position on the pitch the Liverpool Dockers play, but probably wingers, I expect. But he had to finish with no Israel flags on. I wish I could. No Israel flags on the Kop. with my bellicose accent rolling my arse. No Israel flags on the cup. Now, that might seem odd if you don't know anything about football. What the hell does Israel have to do with Liverpool playing Tottenham Hotspur? Well, Liverpool were playing against Tottenham Hotspur. And Tottenham Hotspur are a club who have a small but very loyal Jewish following. Now, for years, they got anti-Semitic abuse hurled at them. Hillsborough, there we go. I was right about Sheffield. I said Sheffield United, didn't I? It was the Hillsborough disaster. I do apologise. Just completely, you're in front of a camera and just falls out your fucking head. But for years, anti-Semitic abuse has been hurled at Tottenham fans. They shouted at them a lot, yids, which is a derogatory term for a Jew, to the point that the Tottenham fans called themselves yids. They took ownership of it, and they even had groups called the Yid Army. There they are. They've got a Star of David. They're just taking it like, oh, fuck you guys. Yeah, that's us. Not all Jewish that call themselves the Yid Army or the Yid. It's just... So it is. But George thought this was an appropriate time for a spot of Israel bashing. Why he thought it was appropriate, I'm not really sure, but it's pretty clear that it would be thought anti-Semitic. It makes sense, yeah? They're Jewish, not Israeli. Israeli flags, they don't all fly Israeli flags. There are just some there from the Jewish people. It's shitty. Right? It's shitty. Naturally, his fans are saying... they're giving it out, saying only critical of Israel, not Jews. The ones that do say that as well, by the way. I'm only critical of Israel, not Jews. Except when I'm critical of Jews. Apparently they're different things. But we hear that a lot. They claim it's further evidence that the Zionist lobby is behind this, etc., etc., etc. The thing is, what did any of this have to do with Israel? Champions League between two British teams, one of which has a more vocal Jewish following than the other. I'm sure there are plenty of Jewish people that support Liverpool. Why wouldn't there be? Jewish people can make bad choices as much as anybody else. I just found it all odd. And then he went on to defend his comment by claiming a number of Tottenham fans were flying the flag of Israel, which he claims shows an affiliation to the racist state. The racist state. Okay, well, keep that in mind. Now, naturally, he's going to sue, because George loves a bit of that. And folks on the internet are either laughing at it or screaming for his head or screaming that it's all Zionist skullduggery, obviously. Me, I actually see this as quite amusing poetic justice. I generally do. Take the Jew and the Zionist business out of it. A lot of people on the left have been wallowing in the misery of people who've been deplatformed for having an opinion. And I don't mean real far-right people. I'm talking about people who are conservative or just, they don't wrong think, okay? Anyone, even if this disgusts me, they delight in seeing them deplatformed. They delight in seeing them doxxed. If they can lose their job, even better. That's so fucking beautiful to these guys. Well, lap it up, people. Because this is where it all goes. It all comes around. How'd you like them apples? Your poster boy. Your poster boy has lost his job for the same sort of shit. You fucking love it when other people do. You love it. You demand it. You demand it. And the amazing thing is you'll defend him to the hilt. If some far-right prick said something about Jews, you'd be screaming for them to lose their platform as well. As for George, I couldn't give a tin shit what he thinks about Israel or the Jews. I really couldn't care less. But when he repeatedly calls it a fascist state and a racist state, but then he's licking the toes of dictators who treat people like a waste product. Here you can see him having a passionate embrace with Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, that well-known human rights campaigner and former leader of Iran. I do struggle to take George terribly seriously, if I'm honest with you. Along with his followers. We only missed out chlorinated chicken. I'm quite proud of myself. I've gone 30 minutes over, but, we had a couple of calls that weren't planned for. That was better.
It's good. More calls.
I just didn't want to drop any of the stories tonight. I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in the mood to drop them. I didn't
panic as much when we had the calls today.
Oh, well done. Well, that's good. I'm proud of you, dude. You held in there.
I kind of wish that I was still doing Game Face just one now, right now, just so I could be like 30 minutes, Aiden. I need a 30-minute going over show. I'd fucking love to go over 30 minutes. It's great.
You always did.
By 5 minutes, maybe. It was very stressful.
It just seemed like 30.
Fuck off.
Basically, I used to sit where Graham was going, come on, I've had enough now. You've been talking about the same thing for at least 2 minutes.
Just to be clear, he's had nothing but smiles from me. I've not been sat here going, whoa, what are you doing or anything like that. By the way, we do have a splitter, by the way. I was being shamed on the chat for not having an audio splitter for Jerry.
Why shamed you?
I've got one. I think it was Smoke Steve.
Oh, right,
You just don't currently have another pair of headphones.
Well, I did say to him on the email before, so I'm just a lazy fuck. Don't bring me on headphones. That's all. That's all it was, Steve.
We did have headphones.
I did.
No, we had headphones.
Oh, did you?
Graham.
Holy shit. Fucking bear right there.
No.
I'm not getting into this again. I'm not getting into it.
That clumsy fucker over there.
No. There's a fucking trap right there, right by my feet. Like a fucking...
Why did I never do it?
Loop waiting to go.
Why did this big clumsy...
Because you knew it was there.
Well, yeah, because I keep that in my mind.
The person that lays the trap is aware of its position, usually.
I've not spent a couple of minutes with the guys, if that's okay. A couple of minutes with the peeps. Where's it go? Vega Navarra says, was getting worried about trigger warning, was checking the Channel 4 days between bids, was that going to be disconcerting? Possibly. Figured you lads had got foot by YouTube. No, YouTube have been pretty cool with us. iWarrior said Graham broke the headphones. Fire him. It was considered. How about a heads up on LLs? People know it's on here on YouTube. Fuck's sake, missed the whole show. Sorry, yikes. Look, here's the deal. Live leak is my thing, and I love it. And the idea of sending people away from it brings me out in fucking hives. I'm physically incapable of saying go somewhere else. I just can't do it. I am sorry, and we will get back there. But it's just I struggle with it because I'm obviously fiercely loyal to Live Leak. It is a struggle, but I we'll sort something out, dude. I promise. Sorry about that. I am very, very sorry about that. I've not said hello to Bob Stew, not said hello to Trainbow Mellow guys, and thank you so much to Drone Tech and to the American Rebellion for calling in. And if you'd like to call in and talk to us in future, just call in. I'm always interested to hear your point of view on what you do. And massive thank you to Rob Fitz and Alan Reeder for super chatting us and putting the coin in the bank. That's even less we have to invoice Mr. Soros for this week. So that's a good thing because you can't be too dependent on George either. He's paid me in Woolworths vouchers last week. That was just shit. iWarrior says, I noticed since you moved to YouTube, you calmed down a lot now, Hayden. To be honest, this has been happening for a long time. I couldn't sustain the level of shouting and ignorance we used to have with the Live League show. And it evolves, it changes, and I have my moments. But some weeks I don't. It's got fuck all to do with YouTube. We've always been on YouTube. It's just the last month we've been doing more of it because we want to build the audience for this show, for the podcast on a Tuesday, for Graham's show on a Sunday, and for the clips. We want to build an audience. We want to build something cool with this and the site and all that. But we haven't had any chats about, we should moderate the content, or you should do this less or that more. I've never worked to anything like that, and some weeks I'm a little more giddy than others, and my blood pressure meds are definitely not fucking working because I don't take them. I think I'm 140 over 100. Is that good or bad?
No idea.
Because the nurse did say to me, have you got much going on at the minute, stress-wise? Oh yes. Many stress.
Over 180, something like that. It was really, really high.
Oh, that's very high. No. I just don't know what any of it means. I don't pay any attention. It's am I dying? No, great, leave me the fuck alone. I've got too much to deal with at the moment. Also, we're probably good because you've got some holidays coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, middle of June, I think. Middle of July, sorry, middle of July.
And then we are going to be missing at least a show on the 8th of August, was it? No, 1st.
Middle of June. Next week!
Yeah, next week. What? But also, the 1st of August, Thursday, 1st of August, I'm having surgery on my carpal tunnels. So I might not be in the mood for doing the show that night because I'll still be feeling delicate and crying. And making it out to be far worse than it was.
Maybe you could drive. Oh no, you're probably best resting up, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not going to be in the mood for much, I wouldn't have thought. Oh no, 140 over 100, Dave. No, I don't fuck around with 80. But to be honest, I have got a lot of fucking stressful things going on at the moment. You do that as much as you fucking like.
No, dude, I've got a bike back.
I know it's getting late.
All the police go home at midnight. It gets really dangerous after midnight.
But you see, Graham, what you fail to understand is I get in my car and drive home. I drop Cherry off halfway.
It's a very, very different...
You need to move nearer to me, and then I could drop you off as well. That's how we sort this shit out.
Come move in with me.
There you go.
All right.
There you
solved.
go. No, lovely.
I don't move in with people
You could
anymore.
spoon.
No.
I'll be Big Spoon.
I don't do that.
Big Spoon. He'll be Butter Spoon. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed tonight's show.
Yeah, that's good.
I've really enjoyed tonight's show. It's been a while since I've enjoyed doing a 1 hour, 40-minute show. I am sorry. But I've really enjoyed myself. I didn't want to stop. What we need to do is work more audience interaction, and then we're doing 2 hours.
It's just descending into being the Mancunian Alex Jones. That's all it is. That's why he goes 4 hours. He just sits there.
He's got the pills for it. I need to get the pills.
Oh, yeah. A full hour for just spotted about for pushing the merch.
Oh, fantastic idea.
This is how it happens.
By the way, go to gearpress.co.uk for trigger warning merch, live league merch, and other things that are quite cool. I think there's a trigger warning colour changing mug as well now. Need to do some new ones with some surprise things on them. Not tell people what it is. Cherry with his tits out. That'll do it. Guys, listen, thank you so much for watching. We do have to stop. It's been 1 hour and 40 minutes near enough. Graham is getting really pissed off because he has to ride his bicycle home in the night times. And, he might get molested and catch the bummer's cough. Who knows? But I genuinely appreciate you spending the time with us. Thanks to the guys that called in. Thanks to the guys that give us a super chat. And just thanks to everyone else that just watched. Please consider sharing the links. Go to our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe. Touch our bell. I'm going to keep going till 23:40, no matter what. And we really need to get out there. Help us get out there and infect the planet with this brand of right think or wrong think. Graham, how long does it take you to ride home on average?
Well, I'd rather not say because then people can start triangulating.
Well, they don't know where we are now.
Yes, but no, I'm all right for saying it. It takes me a while though. It's not round the corner.
A big while or a little while? What kind of while are we talking? No. How long does it take you to walk to where you're staying after I drop you off?
About 5 minutes.
Well, that's not so bad. I'm usually home and dry by then now. Listen to the radio.
When I used to live, it took about 5-10 minutes then.
There you go.
Well, sometimes 20, depends how pissed I was.
I'll be happy at this point if I walk through the door at 1 a.m.
You've got by it because Train Bomb says you're from Manchester North, and clearly that's... I'm not going to say completely off because then he'll just go Manchester South, and I'll say, no, East West.
Getting warmer. And then before I know it, there's
the street.
Yeah,
a photo of you and the family.
Happy Dog was trying to triangulate me with the stars out my window the other night on a private conversation. It wasn't even a fucking public stream. It was a private Hangouts thing.
Why do you think I just have that black cloth behind me when we did the thing?
Yeah, well, I had the curtain open because it wasn't a broadcast.
The podcast.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you might have lost me there. I don't want to get there either. Of course, thanks to young Alex, who's been doing the clips for the show. And
big love, man.
It's good to have you on board again, dude. Right, you know what? We're there. 23:40, guys. Take care. We're back on... Well, Graham's back on Sunday at 12 o'clock UK time. And then we're back on Tuesday at 10:30 PM UK time. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.